Hello and welcome to Anime Animosity. And as you can see with the eyes that you have in your head, that we are over here on livechart.me. But why? A new season isn't beginning, and one most certainly hasn't come to an end. Well, if you were astute, you'd have noticed that we're here on the fall 2020 anime season. Because we're here for a seasonal rundown retrospective, and for the foreseeable future, every Wednesday you'll be getting one of these, until I run out of seasons where I've watched enough anime to warrant talking about all the anime that came out in that season. I don't know how long that'll be, but there'll at least be a few weeks of this. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. But yes, fall 2020 was a pretty good season. In all honesty, it had the beginning of two fantastic anime that I've already talked about in a seasonal rundown retrospective on the channel. Good Christ, I can't speak. So, without further ado, let's get right into fall 2020, shall we? So, first off was Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, you may have heard of it. You may have heard me mention it if you've watched any of my other videos. But I kind of like this show, and most certainly love its manga. Absolutely incredible show. Like, fucking incredible. Love it. It's peak shonen. Like, I don't give a fuck what you say. Jujutsu Kaisen's peak shonen. Give it a watch. Give it a read if you really feel like it. So yeah, I don't have much else to say on JJK. It's honestly one of my favorite manga, and it's probably my favorite shonen. Full stop. And next up is, well, something everybody and their nan's pet goldfish's previous owners, cat's best friend. I don't know where I'm going with this, but everybody knows about Attack on Titan in the final season. Hell, it trended on Twitter pretty much every week when the episodes came out. So, if you didn't hear about Attack on Titan, well, were you living in Australia or something? Or outside of Greg's without a Wi-Fi connection? Because, like, you'd genuinely have to have not been on the internet to not have heard about AOT. And of course, AOT is fantastic. The final season, part 1, as we now know it to be, it's no longer just the final season, was incredible. There was a lot of complaint from fans about the studio change. Honestly, completely unwarranted. Fuck that. AOT, the final season, slapped. Absolutely incredible. And look at that, the season, two of the best shows of the season, both by Mappa. What can you say? Mappa got the good shit, okay? They even got Chainsaw Man coming out. Like, you can't mess with Mappa when it comes to really high quality anime. And now we're moving on to something that is maybe not quite as good, but is most certainly very close to my heart in a series I absolutely love, in Danmachi. Now, the third season, in all honesty, my favourite season of the three so far, and with the confirmation of a season 4 coming, I am beyond excited. I adore the Danmachi series. Danmachi 1, 2, 3, Sword Oratoria, all of it, love it. And the third season was fan-fucking-tastic, and I can't wait for season 4 to come out. Whenever it does, yeah, if you like Danmachi, season 4 is a season 4, well, it will be, but season 3 was a fantastic continuation of where season 2 and 1, but to an extent 1, left off. I adore Danmachi. And now to something that I was a bit disappointed with. Fire Force Season 2, Enen no Shobutai ni no Sho. Now, Season 1 of Fire Force I actually really enjoyed. I thought it was really good. Season 2, for about the first half, was on par with Season 1. And then I felt like it just kind of dropped off and got stale. Like, it blew its load really early, and then it kind of became a bit boring. For me personally, at least, toward the end, it felt like it slowed down a whole lot. Yeah, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as the first season. But maybe that's just because of all the things that made the first season enjoyable from a first-time viewer's perspective didn't have an effect on me in the second season, because obviously I'd seen it all before. So, yeah, take that how you will. Next up, Tonikaku Kawaii, or Tonikawa. Really good romance. Like, this shit's wholesome. This is a good show. If you like your rom-coms, give this a watch. It's one of the best. It's really good. just watch it. Like, Tsubasa is one of the best girls of 2020. Like, come on. And if I remember correctly, these two won Best Couple, or did they not? I can't remember. They might have won Best Couple. I think they did from the the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. I probably won't fact check that or correct myself in editing. So yeah, moving on to the second. This is the second season of Mahoka, and we actually have a third season of Mahoka confirmed, and the Mahoka spin-off airing right now. Mahoka, all things looking up Mahoka, I guess. I actually really like this series. As I mentioned in the summer 2021 rundown when I was talking about Honor Student at Magic Academy. But I do really like Mahoka. I initially was like, nah, this is going to be shit. And I watched the first episode when I was really early on, and I was like, this is kind of incesty. And then in the time that passed from me watching it, I was like, this to be honest, it's just kind of normal, isn't it? You know, it's got to live with it. You know, it's plenty of weird shit. So I a bit of a slightly incestuous relationship between siblings that's not explicitly, there's nothing explicitly going on, but it's there's undertones, certainly, but it's not that big of a deal, Oh well. But yeah, I really enjoyed Mahoka. Season 2 was also fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It's really good shit. And that's all I really got to say. It is just a trashy magic school harem anime, which obviously, they aren't the greatest, but Mahoka, I think, stands up there among the trashy magic school harem anime, at least in my books. And now we move on to another absolutely incredible show that came out in fall of last year, in Haikyuu to the Top Part 2. Fucking hell, man. Haikyuu to the Top Part 1, I didn't enjoy all that much. I didn't dislike it, don't get me wrong, but I found it slightly lacking compared to other seasons, especially after Season 3, which was absolutely incredible. But Part 2 blew me the fuck away. I was on the edge of my seat every fucking episode. Honestly, fantastic. Peak Haikyuu for me to the Top Season 2. Like, absolutely amazing. If you haven't watched any of Haikyuu yet, I highly, highly recommend you go check it out. It is fantastic sports anime. Like, genuinely, it's absolutely incredible. Give it a watch. And Majino Tabi Tabi, I didn't watch. It's the Traveling Witch one. Yeah, I didn't watch it, so I've got nothing to say. And I'm standing on 1 million lives. Well, the second season of this has started airing this season, for when I'm recording this, for summer 2021. How many times am I going to mention this season in the retrospective for season of last year? Who knows? I'm sure I'm dating this video, aren't I? Anyhow, that doesn't matter. So, I'm saying 1 million lives. For me, it was kind of awful. Like, the first season really sucked. It was visually not the best. The story was weird and, like, half-hearted. Like, the characters weren't even that great either. But, to be fair, I didn't dislike it. It was bad, but I didn't dislike it. And with season 2, I think the reason I didn't dislike it was because it was bad, and there was things I could like laugh at and enjoy laughing at while watching it. And with season 2 airing, I'm expecting much more of the same. I wouldn't recommend you watch this unless you want to give a taste of what a subpar anime is like, so you can gauge your own tastes and have like a neutral, I guess. And if you have a high, so you've only watched Demon Slayer, then you watch this, you'll understand that not all anime is as good as Demon Slayer. What was my point? Fuck knows. Other than this is kind of really mediocre. So let's move on to, oh god, Kimi to Boku no Saigo no Senjo Ariwa Sekkai ga Hajimaru Seisen. Did that first try. Hell yeah. This was awful. This is honestly so bad. It looked pretty, like animation wise. I really like the animation. The character design's really good. But as a show, it's not very good. Like, the plot is just really mediocre. Like, yeah, it's not a great show. But it looks pretty. And I'm an advocate for, pretty anime. the Western definition of sakuga. Really good animation doesn't have much or any sakuga, but it has plenty of actual sakuga, which is just frames of animation. Again, that's twice we're on a tangent about something that isn't related to the show while trying to talk about the show. But all in all, this show is really mediocre. And that's that. And on to another show I didn't watch, Kamitachi ni Hirowareta Otoko. I didn't watch it, so I got nothing to say. And on to the next show of the season, which was the third Crunchyroll manhwa adaptation. And honestly, I think out of the three, obviously I'll talk about the other two in later retrospectives. So we're going backwards in time, if you hadn't figured that out based on the fact I'm starting at the end of 2020. I mean, I could have started anywhere, to be fair. I could just jump to 2004 for all you know, but I won't. Noblesse. Out of the three, probably my second favourite. Right in the middle. It started off, for me, kind of slow. And then about episode 4 or 5, episode about 4, it picked up and I actually quite enjoyed it. And from what I know, it doesn't follow the webtoon fantastically. But, it's the woes of anime adaptations, I guess. But I didn't dislike it. I actually quite enjoyed Noblesse. More than God of High School. That's because God of High School, all there is to enjoy is pretty visuals. I mean, you can't refute that, can you? So, let's move on to Akudama Drive. This is a show I need to finish. I know, it's criminal. I've not finished the show. What I watched, I absolutely loved, but I need to finish it, so I'm not going to talk on it here. And we'll move on, not to Kami Sama ni Natehi, not Dahi, because I didn't watch it. And we'll move on to Muno no Nana. Oh, I hate saying that, it's awful. So many na. All talentless Nana. Among Us meets My Hero. The end. Wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it. This is basically how it is. It's on the psychological aspect, it's actually not that bad. Kyoya, the guy in the back with the white hair, yeah, he's actually pretty cool. I actually really like them. So yeah, this show I definitely didn't dislike. I genuinely enjoyed watching it. But would I recommend it? If you like Death Note, this isn't Death Note. If you played Among Us, this is kind of Among Us. If you like My Hero, well then, if any of those three things, if you fit into those three things, you'll probably like this. Which is weird, given that I don't like My Hero, I don't play Among Us, but I have watched Death Note. Death Note's really good. But I did actually quite enjoy this show. So yeah. Great Pretender. I mean, fan-fucking-tastic anime. At least the first half. I actually haven't got around to watching the second half. I've heard the second half isn't quite as good as the first, but the first half, absolutely fantastic stuff. The first time I watched a show and the twist caught me off guard. Genuinely, absolutely fantastic. And honestly, I think that's probably the biggest reason I enjoyed this, because getting caught off guard by that twist, at least in the first arc, and how it was going, I did not expect any of it, and it blew me away. Wit Studios, absolutely slapping with everything they do. Really, really good. Fully recommend you check this out if you get a chance. Didn't watch this, didn't watch this, didn't watch this. But I did start. Haven't finished, but I started Higurashi. I will eventually get around to it because the second season of the pseudo reboot, remaster, sequel that is Go in the season 2 of that in Sotsu is airing right now, and I do want to check that out eventually. So I will get round to watching all of Go and then Sotsu, and probably go back and watch original Higurashi somewhere down the line. That's all I have to say on Higurashi. Other than I did really like what I watched, but I haven't watched enough to give a reasonable opinion on it. Now, is there anything left this season that I watched? Yeah, there is. Magasu Wahrheit zuerst. This show was really shit. It was really boring. It was weird, somewhat confusing and boring. Confusing is probably not the right word. Strange, but I really didn't enjoy it. I finished it, but I'd say it's probably one of the weaker shows this season that I watched. Probably the weakest that I watched. Because I believe that with that brings my experience with fall 2020 to an end. And as such, brings this retrospective to an end. I don't have a segue. Fuck. Let's just do the outro. So, shameless shelf promotion. Classic. If you liked what you watched, well, there's a button right there, just below. It's completely free. And if you didn't like it, well, I mean, you can always dislike it. And if you especially liked what you saw, or if you're new, hit the subscribe button, comment any thoughts you had on the video, any way I can improve. And with that all out the way, hit the bell if you really feel like, keeping up to date, The bell's there. Click it. And that's the end of the shameless self-promotion. I said shelf. I'm really bad at speaking, aren't I? But that's nothing new. Anyway, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I'll see you all next time for another video. Ta-ta for now.